Okay. On this training today, when you get your NACCAS inspection, that final visit, there's a checklist. I'm going to show you the checklist that you need, but I'm also going to show you every last document that you need to have so it can be ready when the NACCAS team comes, because 4 people are going to come to your school and they're going to be looking through all of your documents, but there's a checklist that you must follow. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share this computer screen and show you the checklist, and then I'm going to show you the documents. So if you plan on becoming accredited or you're getting ready to get your final inspection, you definitely want to watch this video and take notes so you can easily pass that inspection. So what we're going to do now, I am going to share this screen and we're going to get to work. So I am going to hide my face because I don't want to distract you all. Can you see this checklist? Let me know. I need to know if you all can see this. So y'all can put a yes or no in the chat. Okay. All right, China said they can see it. Savannah, Yakia, Shakis. All right. Kanisha, Jerome, June, New York said they can see it. Nadine. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So here is the checklist. And if you look at this, documents to provide in the team room prior to team arrival. You need to have these documents ready when the team comes, okay? Now, let's start on this. Let's start on this right now. Number 1, leave of absence policy, if applicable. You need 2 copies, all right? You need 2 copies. So this is what we're going to do. That leave of absence policy is going to be in your school catalog. All right. So basically, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my ISS. This is a school. We'll go to the ISS and we're going to go to the leave of absence policy right here in your ISS. This is the leave of absence example. Here's the policy. Now, with the NACCAS checklist. So here's the policy. This is the leave of absence policy. Where did you get this leave of absence policy? It's in your catalog, but it's also in your institutional self-study. You will have your institutional self-study because you can't get a NACCAS visit without completing this institutional self-study. So this is the leave of absence policy. So what are you going to do? Let's go back to the checklist. You're going to make 2 copies, not 1 copy, 2 copies. All right. And when you do that, you're going to put it on the table and put a sticky note on it. Leave of absence policy. Make it real easy because when NACCAS comes in, if they see that you're organized, they'll just zip right through everything. But if you're looking on organized stuff scattered, it's going to be a long, hard day for you. The next thing, cross-reference satisfactory academic progress policy. Cross-reference means that you must have the NACCAS satisfactory academic progress policy checklist, okay? Along with your satisfactory academic progress policy. A lot of y'all are probably saying, well, what is a SAP? What is a satisfactory academic progress policy? That's why we're doing this class. So now let's go to the satisfactory academic progress policy. It's in your ISS. We're going to go down here. Look, exhibit 9.5, cross-reference SAP policy. Okay, this is cross-reference. Cross-reference means that, okay, look, I'll share one thing with you. Number 3, you see this right here, this number 3, it's on page 1 of the SAP. Applicants prior to enrollment, it's provided. So let's go to page 1 and we're going to look where they put a number 3 at. So we're going to the SAP. We're looking for a number 3. Look, there's a number 3. Look, SAP progress right here. Satisfactory academic progress policy is provided to every student before enrollment. Does that make sense? There's the 3. So it is cross-reference. This is the satisfactory academic progress policy, the cross-reference. You're looking at the cross-reference. Now let's go to the policy that's in your catalog. This is already in your catalog. This is it right here. Okay. That's it. Now let's go back to the checklist. How many copies do you need? 2 copies. Put a sticky note on it on the table. Now, cross-reference institutional refund policy. Let's go here. We're going to go cross-reference refund policy. All right. This is the checklist from NACCAS. It's already been done because the team has already done your institutional self-study. I know you're probably looking at this and you're scared, fearful, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Our team does all of this for you. They do it all. You're looking at Tracy from out of South Carolina. Her institutional self-study. She's now accredited. She was the janitor, toilet bowl cleaner, front desk operator, theory instructor, practical floor. You don't need this big old team when people are telling you that. But now she's accredited. So now this is that policy. Scroll down. I'll give you one example. So let's say number 4. You see this? It says it's on page 1. Refunds are done in a timely manner. So let's go down here. Where's number 4 at? Look, number 4 is right here. Refunds. Refund calculations are made in a timely manner. You see that right there. Okay. Now, this is the refund policy. So that's what they're looking for. This right here. I'm showing it directly to you. Go back to the checklist. How many copies? 1 copy. Next, cross-reference enrollment agreement. They need 2 copies. Let's go to our institutional self-study, cross-reference enrollment agreement. Right here. This is the NACCAS checklist. I don't have to go by these numbers again. You already know that. But number 1 identifies it as a contract, enrollment agreement. Number 1, go to page 1. Look, here's the number 1 right here. Identified it as an enrollment agreement. It's cross-reference. You see that. The team already did this. Okay? That's what they're looking for. When they say that, go back to the checklist. How many copies? They want 2 copies. Next, cross-reference catalog. Let's go to our ISS. Cross-reference catalog is right here. Click on it. Look. Catalog right here, cross-reference. Now, I'm going to share something with you. You already know these numbers. Number 4, school's mission statement. It's on page 3. So let's go down here to the catalog. Look, mission statement. There's that number 4. Look, it's on page 3. Now, so this catalog, that's what they're looking for, cross-reference. Some of these don't apply. We've had some people to try to do this and say, I can't find this because it doesn't apply. Some of the things. So this is already done. Let's go back to our checklist. How many copies does NACCAS want? 3 copies. Policy on distance education, if applicable. Well, this particular school does not do distance education. All right. If they did, it would be in their ISS and we would be able to click on it, but they don't do distance education. Now, next thing, externship policy, if applicable. Now, externship policy, let's talk about that. We do have some school owners that have an externship, okay, with schools, like a high school or whatever. This particular school owner did not. So you would put NA. So NACCAS, when they come to your school, that lets them know that does not apply because it says if applicable. Now, cross-reference enrollment agreement for each program, you can't say that's NA because it doesn't have if applicable. If it says if applicable, you can put NA, but you can't be putting NA on the SAP right here, institutional refund policy, enrollment agreement. No, you got to have that. Next thing, instructor meeting policy. Let's go here. Instructor meeting policy. We got to find instructor meeting up here. And let's see, instructor meeting policy. I already know the policy by heart, but I'm going to show you all that. Instructor meeting policy. They meet once a year. That's their policy. And we'll click right here. And we'll go down here. I'll make this bigger too. All right, here. Staff meetings are annually. Instructional issues, school issues, and general businesses are discussed. Exhibit 2.7. So we'll go here, boom. We'll tell them our policy and we'll give them a copy of the meeting minutes. All right, and they meet once a year. Next thing, one copy. Admissions policy and procedure, one copy. All right, so now we got to go over here and we got to go to the admissions policy. So we got to find that. It's right here. Boom. This is the admissions policy. A lot of y'all probably don't have the correct admissions policy. You probably don't have all this stuff you see in here. You need it. You don't even know how to accept a foreign, if you can accept a foreign diploma and all of that, but everything is in here. How many copies do we need? On the admissions policy, procedures, one copy. Transfer policy, one copy. What is a transfer policy? We'll go look for the transfer policy. Transfer policy, it is in this institutional self-study. It's also in the catalog too, but it's right here. This is the transfer policy. So you're going to make a copy of this. How many copies? One. And you're going to put your sticky note on it. And you're going to label it to make it easy. Reentry policy. Okay, let's go here. The reentry policy, that is in your school catalog. The reentry policy. So we got to go here, school catalog, and we got to go to the catalog and find the reentry. And we'll copy and paste that. Let's see, reentry, see right here? I don't mean to copy that. Right here. Reentry. Right here. Boom. Simple as that. Next thing. One copy. Ability to benefit policy. If applicable, this school does not accept ability to benefit students. All right? They don't do that. The ATB students, if applicable, so that's NA. But I'm going to share something with you all. If you notice, let me make this big so y'all got to see this. All right. Let's see. I want to share something with you. In their catalog, it states that they don't accept those type of students in the catalog. But they don't accept those students. So you would put NA. I was looking to where, yeah, they don't have it in here. They don't accept those students. So let's go to the next one. So you'd put NA. Most of the schools don't accept those students. Internal grievance policy. All right, let's go here. Internal grievance policy. We'll go down. We got that policy. The grievance. Let's see, the grievance policy. I want to show you all that. It's in the catalog too. But we can go right here. Here's the internal grievance policy. It's already in the catalog. The team has already done this. It's already compliant with NACCAS. So what you're going to do, make a copy of that. And Put your sticky note on it. One copy. Academic advising policy and procedure. One copy. Okay. Here we go. Academic policy. It is in the catalog. I can go to the catalog and pull it right up. So let's see. Let's go to the catalog. Catalog is here. And we got to go to the academic advising policy. There it is. Okay. Next. All right, we're moving on. So now here we go. We're gonna make one copy of that. Attendance policy. Here's the attendance policy. That's already in your catalog. It's already in your catalog. Right here. 67%. Boom. All right. So now we'll keep going. And what's next? State board rules and regulations. Provide the following state regulations. Look, read. Place each type of regulation in separate folders labeled with their contents. State regulations govern the institution, including its facilities, supplies, equipment, and other policies regulated by the state. So you're going to look at your state board rules and regulations where it's talking about the minimum square footage, how many chairs, stations, the supplies they need for the kid and all of that type of stuff, the equipment. You're going to print that out and make 2 copies. So basically, we'll go here and state board rules and regulations. This is for the curriculum, but I'll just use this as an example. Just say we'll go through the state board rules and regulations and we will find where it's talking about the equipment, supplies, and all that. We'll print that part out, make 2 copies. And guess what? We would label it. State board rules and regulations governing the curriculums, 2 copies. We go here, go down here. We'll go to the rules and regulations where it's talking about the curriculums. In your state board rules and regulations, this is the curriculum. It would look like that, where it's talking about a curriculum, where it's talking about the hours and all of that. That's what it'll look like in your state board rules and regulations. So I wanted to share that with y'all. Now let's go back. State regulations govern a mandated refund policy if applicable. Now in Texas, Texas has a state mandated refund policy. Most states don't. A lot of y'all will use the NACCAS refund policy. So if you use the NACCAS refund policy, you'll go here and you're going to go to the catalog. Let's go to the catalog. I'm going to show you all a state mandated and the NACCAS. So she's in South Carolina and they go by the NACCAS refund policy. So I'm going to show y'all what that looks like. So what you would do, this right here is a refund policy. You would take this page and print it out, okay? This page right here. And guess what? You would make 1 copy. If you're in Texas, you're going to use the Texas state refund, mandated refund policy. And I'll show y'all what that looks like for Texas. Because it's different from the NACCAS refund policy. Texas, let me show y'all a Texas. I was looking for a Texas. I would have to pull up a Texas. Okay, I'll just pull up a Texas here. So now here's the Texas refund. If your state doesn't have a mandated refund policy, you're going to use NACCAS, what I just showed y'all. This is Texas, okay? Notice that it's different. It's totally different. Look at it. Look at it. That's Texas. That's the state mandated. Some states don't have a state mandated. But if it does, this is NACCA's refund policy, because this particular school in South Carolina, they don't have a state mandated. A lot of them don't. So I wanted to share that with you all. Now, the next thing, improvement plan as applicable based on feedback from the advisory committee and student, current student and graduate surveys. So when you have your surveys from your current students, graduates, and advisory committee, they may say, hey, we love the school, but the improvements that we see, they need financial aid because we're having a tough time paying. A graduate, they may fill out their graduation survey. School was great and everything, but I wish they had financial aid, or I wish they had more people coming in off the street so we could do more services. That's what you would put in the feedback. Your improvement plan would be, we're working toward NACCAS accreditation so we can get financial aid. Or you may say, we're doing more flyers, we're doing more social media, we're doing more specials so we can bring more people into the school so our students can practice on them. So based on the feedback, you'll already have that in your institutional self-study. So if we go here and go here, let's see, standard one, let's see if they do the feedback. Okay, yeah, let me make this larger. So if you look at this right here, on number 12, it talks about the feedback received from advisory committee, students, graduates, and all those. And it talks about it right here. And it says the recommendations based on the feedback. They added a computer in the classroom. They incorporated more games for my ladies to teaching method for lesson retention. We're working toward accreditation so we can offer financial aid for the students. So you print that out. You make a couple of, how many copies? Let's see, 1 copy. Plan for instructor continuing education. Let me show y'all exactly what that is. Because a lot of this stuff y'all don't know, but when I show you the paper, you'll say, oh, okay. Plan for instructor continuing education. So we're gonna go here. And we're gonna go down. Instructor continuing education plan right here. Look, this is the plan right here, y'all. All y'all gotta do is make a copy of this. That's it. The verbiage and wording is already here because the team already did that. They've already done that for you. That's simple. Next thing, plan for use of substitutes. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. Look. Substitute instructor's procedure right here. All right. Simple as that. Make a copy of that. Institutions operating policies and procedures. We have a copy of an example of this, but to make a long story short, you can take your catalog. Let me show you all. Basically, to answer this question right here, if you take your catalog, make this real simple. Take your catalog, and what you're going to do, you'll have educational goals, class start dates, holidays you close. You'll have your admissions requirements, your transfer, reentry policy, your non-discrimination. You'll have all of these policies, but it won't be set up like this catalog. You can have these on different pages. Right to privacy and information release. So these are the policies, okay? Graduation requirements. So that will answer the operating okay? But we have a copy of one of these too. An example. Privacy and release of information policy and forms. Okay, let's go there. Privacy and release of information. Let's go. So I'm gonna pull up those forms, and that's in the catalog. Hold on right here. I want to show you that. Look, right here. Let me make this larger for y'all to use readers. Hopefully this is big enough. So you do this right here. Policy for reviewing, right to privacy, and release of information. But if you look at this, guess what else? And the forms. Okay, so let's show you what the forms look like. Let's show you what the forms look like. Because they got to fill out one of those forms in order to review the file. I want to pull up one of these forms for release of information. I got to see where it's at on here. If not, I'll just go on my computer and pull one up. But I think it should be a form on here. Non-discrimination policy, management policy. Let's see. I may have to pull it up. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull that up. So this is, what is this? Privacy release information policy forms. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do. So here, NACCAS, let's see. Forms, example docs. All right, so let me see. Okay, here it is. Here go one. Insert your school name, authorization form, release of information. I understand that I have the right to gain access to my records according to the Academy's policy. So that's that document. You make a copy of one of those. Because that's the form that you need. Let me show you that form again. Okay. So that's it right there. So now we're moving on to the next thing. Let's go back to the checklist. Where are we at right now? Let's see. So now, all right, so we were where were we at, y'all? I done got lost. Let me see, state regulations. All right, so we down here. Then substitute right here, privacy. Okay, we're right here. PPA, Program Participation Agreement. Guess what? That does not apply to you. What is a program participation agreement? Once you become accredited and then you start to submit your application to the U.S. Department of Education, once you get approved for that, then you will get your program participation agreement. So guess what? On here, you're going to put NA. And I know it doesn't say if applicable, but you won't have this or the e-card because you're not accredited. Now, after you get accredited and they come back to recertify you some years later, you will have a copy of this. So you put NA. Articulation agreement, if applicable. You're going to put NA. Training agreements with other entities. You may have a training agreement with the prisons, a training agreement with some high school or whatever. If you do, it says if applicable, but most of you all won't, so you'd put NA. If you do, guess what? You would just make a copy of that training agreement from that high school or that prison or whoever. All right. Requirements for graduation. Real simple. Let me show y'all that. Requirements for graduation. Boom. It's also in your catalog. All you're going to do is make a copy of this. That's simple. Next thing. Publish annual report outcome rates. Go to your catalog. Let me show you. Let's go to the catalog. Here, where's the catalog? I'm going to show you. Okay, here's the catalog. Now, we're gonna go to those annual report rates. Should be at the end of their catalog. Let's see. Let's go back up. Okay, here it is. Let me make it larger. Look, here it is right here. Right here. That's it. That's simple. Let's see. Advisory committee roster. Okay, let's find that. We're gonna go here. And let's see, advisory committee roster. Advisory committee meeting, advisory committee members right here. This is it. All you're gonna do is print that out. Now, a lot of y'all always ask about the advisory committee. And I've broken that down to y'all many times. If you have a barber, Cosmo, nails, aesthetics program, you're gonna have to have a licensed barber, stylist, nail tech, and esthetician that work in a shop. And you're gonna have to have their name, where they work, the name of their business, the address, phone number, and whether they're barber, stylist, or nail tech. So you need one representing each program that you offer. So that's that. Next thing. Advisory committee meeting minutes or the completed surveys, either or. All right. Let's go here. Advisory committee meeting minutes. This is the advisory committee meeting minutes. All right. Now, guess what? Does that make sense? Advisory committee meeting minutes. I'm going to share something with you all. But while I share it, I'm going. All right, so I'm going to share this screen. We're going to continue with this training. So now let's go to, we looked at the advisory committee meeting minutes, documentation of feedback from current student, graduates, and instructors. Okay, so we got to have documentation of that, of feedback from them. We got to show them surveys. So here, click on here. We'll go up here, current student surveys. Look, there's documentation of the feedback, current student surveys. Graduate exit surveys, documentation, graduate exit survey. Click here, documentation from instructor surveys. Okay. Documentation from the advisory committee meeting. Right here, because you can either do a surveys for all the advisory committee members, or you could do advisory committee meeting minutes where you talk about that. So you make copies of all of those. And it's that right there. Summary of feedback. All right, so basically you're going to read over those surveys, all of that. And then you're going to do the summary of the feedback. And I already showed y'all that somewhere. So let me go here and show you all summary of feedback. It's in the ISS already. Okay, so let me make this larger so y'all can see it. If any of y'all have readers on here. So here, documentation of the feedback. And then we had the improvement plan, what we talked about earlier. All right, so now let's go back to the checklist. And I will answer questions at the end, or y'all can DM or text or email. Let's see. List of currently employed regular instructors. Okay, we'll go here. And that list right here, instructional staff. Right here, list. I told y'all she was the only one. I didn't lie to y'all. I told y'all she was the only one. We've had over 100 and something people, probably 200 and something, that got accredited by themselves. So when I'm telling you all, you don't need this big old staff to get accredited and all that. No, you can have one person. It was just me when I got accredited. And I can go down a list of all, Tracy Williams in Executive Barber College down in Mississippi. She was the only one. So if it's just you running your school, it's okay. I was the only person running my school. It doesn't matter how you start, but eventually when God blessed it, I had over 200 and something students at one location at 20,000 students. So it does not matter how you start. What matters is how you finish. The Bible says, don't despise small beginnings. You know, faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. That big old apple tree and orange tree was once a seed, a little bitty seed. Okay, but when you water it, you put it on good ground, you put the work in, it's going to blossom. It's going to bear fruit. And when it starts bearing fruit, it's going to start bearing fruit every year, every season, without you putting in more work. No. When I got my accreditation to hire that staff, I didn't work hard, y'all. I really wasn't working at all. And I was making way more than when I worked my tail off in the beginning. So put the work in. Let's keep pushing. Keep on moving. All right. Let's see. And if you're the only instructor, it doesn't matter. How do you do your own survey? Get your admin. I had my sister's my admin, although she didn't work at the school or whatever. I just played like she was the admin, and she did my instructor evaluation. The latest ISS form is on the NACCAS website. I have to show y'all where that's at. So now let's keep going. Where are we at? Currently employed instructors. Yeah. Okay. Personal file for each currently employed instructor. So in a personal file, you're just going to have a license. And if you need an employee application, email the team. If you don't see it in your back office, or if you're in the program and don't feel like going to the back office, just email the team and say, hey, I need an employee application. So that'll be in there. Their license will be in there too. If they've been working there a year, you want to have an employee evaluation for them too. And we'll probably get to that because that's on this checklist. License and credentials of each instructor. All right. We already know what that is. They license. So go right here. And all they want to see, boom, instructor's license. All right. That's it. That's what they mean. Make a copy of that. Instructor meeting minutes for the most recent 12 months. Go here. Sure, I got an instructor meeting minutes. Where they at? Instructor meeting minutes. There it is right here. Look, instructor meeting minutes. There it is. Instructor meeting minutes. Make a copy of that. That's done. Documentation of completed continuing education. Once you've been working at the school 12 months as an instructor, if your state requires you to have an instructor's license to teach at your school, you must do continuing education hours at least every 12 months. Get your certificate, put it in there. That's what they're talking about. So let's look at documentation. There it is right here. There's her certificate where she went to and got her instructor continuing education hours. What's next? Let's see. Documentation of distance education training for instructors, if applicable. Remember, this particular school owner does not do distance education, so that's NA. Performance evaluations for each instructor. What is that? All right, so let's go here and let's look at the performance evaluations. Here it is. Look. Performance evaluation. There it is right here. And I'm going to share something with you. NACCAS is going to ask you, when do you do these evaluations? Do you do it on the anniversary hire date of the instructor? Or do you have a particular specific date that you do it each year? In her ISS, we said it was a particular specific date each year. Every year she does it 3/29. So you put in your phone, do instructor evaluations on this date, put it in your phone, and you just have it there. So the alarm will go off, oh, we're supposed to do it that date. If you don't do it on that date, and you're supposed to put it on that date, make sure you put that date on there, the date that you say you did it on, that's in your ISS. Those dates need to match up, and it needs to be signed and dated on that date. So I want to share that with you. Go back to the checklist. State license. That's your school license. Okay, we'll go here. Y'all all know what that is, school license. I shouldn't even have to show you that, but I will, because some people will like, different. School license, make a copy of that, put it in there. Examples of each type of advertising for the previous 12 months. On your advertising, make sure you have all work by supervised students. So let's go here. She should have a copy of advertising. Go here, look. All work done by supervised students. Another thing I want to share with you, if you have a barber, cosmetology, and nail program, they want to see 3 different advertisements, one for barber, cosmo, and nails. All right. So instead of this being a picture of a haircut, you may have a picture of some nails and everything. So now let's go back. All right. So the next thing, copy of pre-enrollment information provided to students for access to institutions catalog, most recent. I'm not going to read this, but guess what? For this question, this question, right here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to show you all what they're looking for. So let's go here, and I'm going to show you exactly what they're looking for. Very simple, y'all. Real simple. This is what they're looking for. The student orientation checklist and the orientation receipt of information. These 2 documents, make a copy of them. You get a good look right here and right here. They're given this before they start school. I'm not going to read over all these checklists and all of that stuff, but what I can tell you, make a copy. That's the answer for this one, this one, this one, and this one. All right? Right here. Look, here where I highlighted, and here. So make a copy for that, here. It covers that, all right? So now, moving on. Employment assistance provided to students and graduates. Now, you can have a sheet that you put in the break room where you have, hey, Sally Sue is hiring, all right? Also, you want to go to your catalog, and when you go to this catalog, you want to let them know that let me show you this right here, because this is very important for you to have this in your catalog when it talks about employment assistance. You cannot guarantee that. Some schools have gotten wrote up. Let me see. Where is it at? You can't guarantee that you can find them a job. Here it is right here. There it is. So y'all gonna make a copy of that too. Look, I understand that the school has not made and will not make any guarantees of employment. It has to be worded like this. Make a copy of that, put that with it. All right, moving on. All right, so now program outlines for each course. That's in your catalog, but here, we're going down to the curriculum. To the curriculums right here, course curriculum. Program outline, boom. Same thing right here, this course outline. That's what it is they're looking for each program that you teach. So now we'll go back here. We did that. Sample lesson plans for each course. If you have a barber program, nails, and aesthetics, there's 3 sample lesson plans they need to see. A lot of y'all use Pivot Point or you use My Ladies. So all you gotta do is make a copy of that. But let me show you, because when I taught this class and I just showed y'all the checklist, y'all want to see the actual document. So let me show you all one of the let's see, where are we at? I got it is a lesson, sample lesson. Resume. There it is right here, sample lessons. See, this is straight out of My Ladies. That's what this is, straight out of My Ladies. So you just make a copy of this. This is a full lesson plan. All right. And make sure you got the answer key with that. Yeah. Should be an answer key at the end. Yeah. All right. So now we'll move on to the next thing. Documentation showing that the institution is responsible for distance education if applicable. Most schools don't have distance education. Where it says if applicable, a lot of times it may be NA. This school didn't have distance education, so you'd put NA. If you did have distance education, you just need to show documentation that you're responsible for distance education. Now, next thing, documentation, state regulation letter or et cetera from the state regular outlining the amount of distance education. So based on this, if you do have distance education, they want documentation, a letter from the board outlining the amount of distance education, whether you can do 200 hours, the student can do 200 hours, or you can offer them 500 hours or whatever. That's what they're asking on this, if you do distance education. Okay, completed forms, practical grade. Let me show y'all that right here. We will go here and practical grades. So now we go down here, and here is those practical grades. And they have a lot of these in some of the My Lady's curriculums that y'all purchase. But let me make this smaller so y'all can actually see this. All right, you see this, the practical grade? And I want to share something about the practical grade, because sometimes a NACCAS evaluator will try to trick you or trip you up. Listen very closely. So they may say on this, hey, Nene, hey, Nieves, Kim, Antonio, Touch of Serenity, Angela, Sanders, Charles, Queen Jane, China, Erica, Jerome, Kanisha, Keith, LaShawn, Marvis, Nene, Pam, Shayla, Shakise, Savina, Tessa, Tiffany. When you're grading a student and they're cutting hair on this step, what if they get half of it right, half of it wrong? How do you grade on that step? On this rubric, it's either right or wrong. They can't get no half a point, quarter point, or whatever. It's right or wrong. Okay? Right or wrong. So if it's 10 questions, it's graded on 100 point. So it's either 10 points per question. Well, they didn't get all of it right on one of the questions. It's wrong. That's how you grade it. So you make copies of this. That's the practical grade and what they're talking about, clinical and all of that. That's all that is right there. Next thing, a copy of the same student list previously provided to the NACCAS staff team lead found. Oh, okay. So now what they're asking for, when NACCAS comes to your school, they're going to want a list of the current students at your school with their hours and all of that. And I'll show y'all, let me show y'all that. Up here, they usually ask for it. Okay, yeah, here's what they asked for right here. They want a list. You can just put in a spreadsheet of all your current students and the date it was run, the student start date, what they enrolled in, how many hours they completed, how many scheduled hours, if they had a leave of absence. They want the past 12 months of graduates and the past 12 months of students that withdrew. So you got to provide that list. That's what they're talking about right there on here. Now, let's see. So that's from the checklist. I've already shown you all that. And all of this, I've gone over that with you. Because when they check the student files, these are the things they're going to be looking for. But we've gone over that. But I want to show you all those documents because a lot of people asked me to share that because they didn't know what those documents were from the checklist. So I just went over that checklist with you all, things that you're going to need. And when they check the student files, these are things that they expect to see in the file. Now, things that have if applicable, then you may not need to have those. So I want to share that with you all. Hopefully, you all learned a lot tonight. This is recorded step by step. If you have any questions, reach out to the team, email them at millionairebarber@gmail.com or whatever. So now, we will do some Q&A.